Hey guys, so today we're going to present to you our strategic growth direction that we've come up with for Dropbox. Now I'd first like to kind of read you a couple of the headlines that you can expect to see in the next couple of years. So Dropbox is going to become a leader in the cloud collaboration space in enterprise by 2012. In 2011, they'll receive incremental revenues of $64 million, and they'll see a reduction of their costs across all of their segments. And how are we going to do this? Well, that's what's to come. So first, let's kind of dive into what Dropbox does right now and what kind of segments they have. And they have two key main segments. So they've got their consumers and they've got their enterprise and their business clients. And we kind of recognize that in order to really pick a specific strategic direction, we need to target one or the other. We decided not to focus on consumers. And this is for one main reason. We don't believe that there's a lot of potential for growth. Right now, we've captured a lot of the market and we've done really well, but we don't think there's a lot of room for growth for a few reasons. First of all, it's a relatively low margin business. Individuals don't want to pay a lot for their storage and pay a lot for this service. Secondly, it's a highly saturated market with a lot of competitors, a lot of strong competitors. And thirdly, what's really important to note is that while the industry is growing quickly, it's very difficult to capture market share and pre-existing market share because individuals don't want to switch their storage softwares. All of the softwares are very similar and there's not a true competitive advantage in this space. Rather, it's more just branding which one you heard of first. So individuals aren't going to want to switch from one to another. So there's not a lot of room to capture market share. Rather, we feel that targeting the enterprise space provides a much larger room for growth. First of all, we plan on creating a new market with a new opportunity to differentiate ourselves. Rather than positioning ourselves as a cloud storage solution like many of our competitors have currently, we'll position ourselves as a cloud collaboration software, one where we can use teaming, one where we can use design think, and it allows our customers to fully embrace this new kind of millennial way of thinking, rather than just positioning ourselves like our competitors as a cloud storage solution. Also, enterprise has a high opportunity for high margins. Enterprise clients are willing to pay a premium for the secure service we offer rather than individuals who don't value those features as greatly. And lastly, we're going to leverage our strategic partnerships to lower our costs across all our segments. And Natasha will dive into that soon. So why haven't we succeeded in the enterprise space before? What do we need to do differently in the future to succeed here? Now, there's kind of 4 pieces to the enterprise puzzle in order to succeed. You need to have a simple experience that it's easy for business users to use. You need to have a secure code as enterprise value the security of their information. And thirdly, it needs to be at an affordable price point. And Dropbox has succeeded in all 3 of these areas. Where they've been lacking is enterprise expertise. These are the relationships that you need, and these are the familiarity with the security requirements in the enterprise industry and in the enterprise space. Therefore, our solution is to form a strategic partnership with a tech giant like IBM. IBM is an expert in the enterprise space, and they specialize only in business-to-business sales. Currently, they don't have a partner in the cloud collaboration space, and we feel we would be a great fit. IBM would help us because they could help us with our enterprise specifications. We could leverage their reputation and their relationships to connect with enterprise clients, and we could use their resources to further develop our code and to lower our costs. Now I'll hand it on to Natasha for some more analysis.
So as Ryan mentioned, we're really interested in partnering up with IBM for 3 main reasons. So first of all, IBM is currently a market leader in the enterprise and IT systems industry. And the 3 main reasons we've narrowed in on IBM in particular is because we feel like it would give us a really great platform to build a strong relationship with one of the largest tech companies in the world. And essentially what that does is that it gives us the access to their resources as well as their capital for the research and development of the new code we need in place, as well as the outreach. It also helps us that IBM is currently focus on B2B sales instead of other companies which focus on a mix of B2B as well as B2C. Seeing as we're moving into this area, it definitely gives us a really great area to capitalize. Next, their expertise in the information system area, it gives us a common goal and a common vision as we look to further our company. And lastly, the hosting services and cloud storage expertise. And this is really the main area that we want to take advantage and capitalize on this partnership, is the fact that IBM currently has one of the most secure and one of the most private cloud platforms right now. And essentially what our goal is that customers are to use the Dropbox API to store data on IBM's enterprise cloud. And the reason that we've narrowed in on this point in particular is for 3 reasons. First of all, it's very convenient. Second of all, it's cheaper because with our partnership with IBM, they obviously have a vested interest in the company. And C, because it's safer, because obviously, as I mentioned, the private and more secure enterprise cloud. This is something that we feel helps us further our goal because enterprise customers have to stay within a certain legal and regulatory limitation for the sake of data privacy as well as security. Using the safer cloud that IBM offers allows us to reach our goal of growth and offers our customers a way to explore Dropbox in a way that wasn't really possible before. So why Dropbox? Why would IBM want to partner with us? So we've narrowed down 3 reasons here as well. The first one is commission-based revenue. So the way IBM operates is that it basically sells the products for the company that it partners with, and based on a preset, percentage, they get a commission based on whatever the revenues are. Next, the penetration into cloud collaboration space. So obviously, given the concept of Dropbox and the very nature of their business, Dropbox is very heavy into the cloud storage as well as using the cloud, which is something that IBM could really benefit from penetrating into that new market. And lastly, there's server-based revenue. So currently, with Dropbox, the server that we use, we currently pay another company to use all of their to use their server. But if we were to partner with IBM, it gives IBM a really great opportunity to get the expenses. So we would essentially be paying IBM for the use of their server, which is another added source of revenue for them. So for our overall competitive advantage, we don't really want to position ourselves as simply a cloud storage company. Instead, we want to position ourselves as a cloud collaboration application, keeping in mind the simple consumer experience as well as the powerful and the secure backend. So with this being said, we really want to introduce the Dropbox Pro for enterprise companies. And essentially what we have is the same user experience, a different backend integration, as well as the competitive advantage of collaboration tools, our existing brand awareness, seeing as we currently have 4 million users, as well as the high-quality customer service that allows us to improve our product for more customers. So I'm going to be passing it on to my colleague Spyri to talk about the revenues.
Thank you. So in terms of the financials, we projected, using very conservative assumptions on market share, growth, and margins, we came down to operating income of 32 million for 2011, which we expect to increase and reach 58 million by 2014. And we believe that this is a very attractive opportunity for Dropbox because this number translates to more than 3 times what they're making from their consumer segment. So now it's very important to talk about how they're actually going to make it happen, so their action plan. So the first 2 steps involve around engaging into discussions with IBM and actually forming a partnership. And then after that it's done, it's really important to make alterations to the existing Dropbox application to make it a bit more flexible to cover the needs of the enterprises. And then what's really important is to actually take advantage of the IBM's resources and perform internal testing before they're ready to launch the product in the market. And after that is done, Dropbox and IBM together will be there to support customers throughout the usage of the product. And for our last slide for the presentation, we're going to talk about potential risks that might arise from this initiative. So there are 3 main risks that we believe that we and IBM should look out for. The first one involves around the deal not actually going through. And we believe that if that were to happen, according to industry trends, we'd be able, we're out of time. Okay, yeah, thank you. So we'd be able to find a different partner. This could be either Google, Oracle, or Microsoft. The second risk is any issues that would come up with the code. In this case, we believe that we'd be able to take advantage IBM's resources and industry expertise to solve that problem. And the last risk is that IBM's customers wouldn't be willing to switch into Dropbox, and we believe that this risk is easily mitigated by IBM integrating Dropbox into other more popular product offerings. And now I'm going to pass it back to Ryan for some final remarks.
Awesome. So we've kind of talked to you about the strategy we've got today. And essentially what we're proposing is that Dropbox is going to stay exactly the same as it is now in the consumer space. No changes are needed, and we've succeeded there. Rather, where changes are needed are in the enterprise space. And we're going to become the leading cloud collaboration platform in that space.
Perfect.
Just right off the bat, could you explain a little bit more what that partnership dynamic actually looks like? Like what we are providing, like I understand the high level sort of value proposition that you went through, but I guess at a more granular level what that actually is.
Sure. So essentially what it looks like is how IBM interacts with their clients as they work with their clients to figure out kind of what offerings they need. So sometimes that means matching an IBM offering, matching an SAP offering. Essentially we become one of those vendors that they can match to a client.
I see.
So when IBM say offering servers or offering cloud storage, then they can offer us as well.
So would that be like an exclusive agreement, or how?
It could be. It depends kind of what the margins look like, right? So if it's going to be an exclusive agreement, we'd expect kind of a little bit more in return. But if it was more wide open, like it typically is in the industry, exclusive agreements are not as typical unless it was, say, a purchase, like if they purchase us, which we're not opposed to as well.
Just to follow up on that, so these are 3 big points, but they also kind of apply to the competitors in the cloud sharing space as well.
Yeah.
So why is IBM going to necessarily partner with Dropbox specifically? Like, couldn't they just, if they think it's a growing industry, couldn't they develop in-house, maybe acquire one of our competitors, and why Dropbox in general?
Sure. So to address kind of the in-house growing their own, it does take a lot of work to kind of build this familiarity with the app. Tons of business users use Dropbox right now, but they use it for their personal files, so you can't just build that reputation overnight. Why not a competitor? Essentially what Dropbox does really well is it allows that collaboration. It doesn't have that focus on security. So with all the competitors, even if you look through their names, they're all Vault, they're all security, they're all Protector in their name. It's all focused on security. We're more focused on kind of enabling collaboration, which is kind of new to the time in 2010.
I'd like to speak to your risk mitigation for this. So the whole recommendation revolves around IBM, but the mitigation for the deal falls through just seeking out a different partner. So how would this whole recommendation change if, for example, you were to go to Microsoft or Google?
We don't believe that it would change a lot. So the first thing is that IBM and Microsoft and Google, all of them are interested in the space because it's a very high growth industry, and a lot of them don't have the in-house capabilities to actually be able to enter fast. They use the cloud space, so all of them are looking for the same thing, and all of them have the same kind of on-premise solutions. So we would use their servers in the same way. So we believe that this is a bit more. It's a bit more around IBM, but could definitely apply to like Google or Microsoft.
What would be your reactions to if IBM said, okay, but we want to brand it as our own, so we essentially lease it rather than refer you?
Sure. It might not be in IBM's best interest, just because Dropbox is a great partnership because of that pre-existing relationship and that brand name. Business users kind of like Dropbox because it's easy to use and they know they've used Dropbox before. So kind of renaming it, putting it under a white label may not be in their best interest, but it's something we would definitely be on board with if they wanted to.
Is that IBM's like business model? They pretty much partner like their kind of variety of vendors with.
It's complicated, but yes, they do a lot of that stuff. This wouldn't be unique in any way.
Okay, so it makes sense to me that like perhaps we could fit in with that, but like how would that really work? I guess back to someone else's question with like Microsoft or Google. Like how many players are there? So if they say no, it seems like they'd be the most likely partner.
Yeah.
Okay. So another partner we consider actually is NetSuite. That's not one of, back then it wasn't one of the main players like IBM. So if that were to happen, if IBM, Google, and Microsoft, all of them said no, then we try to target more alternative kind of companies like NetSuite. They have the startup background, and we believe that they will be able to resonate more with our vision and where we're going with this.
Right, that makes sense.
I think we're probably pretty much.
I don't have any questions.
Anyone else got any questions? We got like,
Let's go.
Okay, we're good.
Cool. Yeah, great job, guys.
Awesome.
Great job,
Amazing.
guys.